Hello guys, this is Rox, and in this series I'm gonna make you a better player in Dune Awakening. For this lesson, you're gonna learn how to build your character. And to build your character, you need to have 3 factors in mind. Your playstyle, which is if you are melee, if you are ranged only, if you are hybrid, which weapons and armor do you use, if it's light, heavy or mixed, and your skills synergy. Which, in simple words, is making sure your techniques and abilities work well together, or that work well with specific weapons. These 3 factors will dictate if you are an aggressive, tactical, or defensive type of player, which often can be all combined, especially in a tough game like Dune. Before we start, guys, remember that you can reset your skill points every 48 hours for free by clicking in this button right here. In the end, just use the skills that make you the most happy/comfy while playing the game. Okay, let's begin. First, the mandatory skills to have in each skill tree and why you should get them. In the Trooper skill tree, you want to max out Gunsmith and Field Maintenance. These two are related to each other and will basically make you waste less durability every time you use your weapons and tools, but also to lose less durability when you repair them. These skills are mandatory to have in any build because imagine you have the Ancient Way. You want to use it for as long as possible, right? Same thing goes for your other harder to get uniques. Max out Suspensor Efficiency. 20% less power drain whenever you use your Suspensor. Mandatory, guys. Middle of the fight, if you have to withdraw or reposition to heal, etc., you don't want to get to 0 power and break your shield, so max this out. Shigawire Claw, also known as Hook. For this one, guys, 2 levels are enough for 95% of the times. Level 2 is mandatory, level 3 is luxury. You can come max out this skill in the end, only if you have spare points, since if you hook a target that is too far, you cannot melee it anyways. But of course you can stagger it to shoot it. Hook is also a synonym of mobility, crowd control and survival. For me, the only mandatory ability to have in any build. Battle Hardened Technique. Max this one out. Less 30% cooldown for all your Trooper abilities. Keep in mind this is only for the Trooper abilities, not all your skill trees. But this one is so good that makes a huge difference for your hook. And since the hook is like a core mechanic of the game, this one is also mandatory to have. In the Mentat skill tree, you want to max out Garment Keeper and Tailoring. Exactly for the same reasons as the weapon version. You want your unique armors to last as long as possible, especially the rarer ones. In the Planetologist skill tree, max out Rerouting and Overcharge for more power regeneration and bigger power pool, as power in this game is your shield and Suspensor's battery. Extremely important to have. You can also max out Vehicle Repair, as you want your vehicle parts to last as long as possible. And a tip for this one, guys, if you play with a group of friends, only one person needs to have this skill maxed out, so everyone else can save their points. Obviously, the person who gets this skill is the one repairing the vehicles. But if you get into fights with your shopper, you should max this out even if you play in groups. In the Ben Gesserit skill tree, max out Self-Healing to receive more healing from bandages and medkits, and also max out Vitality to increase your raw HP. Extremely important. And in the Swordmaster skill tree, get 1 point in Field Medicine, 2 points in Optimized Hydration, 2 is mandatory, level 3 is luxury. Can also max this one out in the end, or if you use a melee build, but we'll get there in a moment. And max out General Conditioning, as this one increases your max stamina, also very important. These are the mandatory skills to have independently of your build. I'll show on screen how is it looking like, so if you want you can take photos of it right now, so every time you rebuild your character, you can start building it from here. If you think this is helping you or other people, please leave a like and subscribe, as supporting is free. Now for your optional but important skill, as it is related with Spice. Compaction or Sandcrawler Yield. Pick between one of them to save points. This one is not necessary to make your character better directly, But Spice Melange is necessary to craft uniques that give you the edge in your fights. When you are extremely rich in resources, you don't need to get this, at least temporarily, so you can get extra points. And for those who don't do any PvP or stations and are just focused in farming spice for that weeks or something, you can obviously get both of these skills if you have a Sandcrawler. If you pick Compaction, pick Deep Analysis and then max out Compaction. As for Sandcrawler Yield, simply go to the right side and get Vehicle Mining and then max out Sandcrawler Yield. Keep in mind, we have Compaction level 3, so we have 72 free points left. Now comes your essentials, and this is where everything changes for everyone. There are endless possibilities. I'll give you some examples in a moment to where you can spend the last 72 points, but first here are some abilities and techniques that you have to keep in mind. Abilities. Gravity Field, which you already have from getting Suspensor Efficiency. This ability is an area of effect that is great to reduce targets' movement and melee attack speed, and also to reduce the power pool of everyone inside the field. And on top of that, everyone inside cannot jump, use suspensors, neither movement abilities like the hook, Bindu Sprint, knee charge, etc. Remember, if you are inside, it also affects you, but since you are aware of this now, you can immediately grab your ranged weapon and shoot. The GRDA is 44 in particular love this ability. The Suspensor Blast is an extraordinary ability. It's overall broken, but doesn't mean you must get it. It does a mini stagger and slows the targets 360 around your character. On top of that, it can also be used while you are staggered. And for 1 second of you using it, you'll gain super armor. So this one is like an emergency button, but of course you can use it on cooldown. Its limitation is that it can only be used in close range, so it's worthless at a distance. In theory. Remember I told you can get 1 second of super armor. So for example, if you are gonna get hit by a rocket or a missile, you can use this ability to mitigate damage. Just keep in mind, the player might push, because he knows that your ability is now on cooldown. The Sentinel is your best friend against PvE, as it helps you kill NPCs or covers your back while you are farming, but it dies to one shot against players, and can also be destroyed by NPCs' grenades, but for this one is easy. As soon as you use the Sentinel, get away from it, so the NPCs don't throw grenades at it, as they always aim at you. Bindu Sprint. This one is the king of mobility, repositioning, getting close range, run away, flank, you name it. Weirding Step, a classic Shadow Step ability. You will teleport into the enemy. This is good for repositioning, gain momentum in a fight, to get in close range to melee or shotgun the targets, and catching running targets. Crippling Strike. This one is an outstanding ability that hits the targets in an AoE cone radius in front of you, applying slow and penalty to stamina costs for dodges. This is very good for both PvE and PvP. The problem, it only works at close range. Knee Charge is another great ability with decent damage, applies poison and staggers the target. That can be used from a fair distance, and it's also great for target switching / interruption. Example, if you see someone pulling off a cannon, you can interrupt the shot even if momentarily. Every second counts. On top of this ability has a short cooldown. For heavily coordinated parties, Litany Against Fear, it's an anti-stagger, super armor and reduced poison damage for 16 seconds. This, well-timed and coordinated, can definitely turn the tides. Inspiration. 35% melee damage bonus for 23 seconds, with a 20-second cooldown. Note this last part, guys. Lasts 23 seconds, 20 seconds cooldown. Now imagine you are both using melee builds. After one buff ends, the other uses buff and will last 23 seconds, while the other guy cooldown, which is less than 23, will be ready to use it again and again. So it's permanent 35% melee damage. Outstanding for PvE, not that great for PvP, unless you are outnumbering the others.
Me? Just hanging around.
Techniques. Center of Mass has a fantastic synergy with shotguns and Vulcans. It's also pretty nice for those who are not very good at landing headshots. Marksman. This one is the opposite. If you are a beast at landing headshots, get this one because you will do more damage. Discipline. Breathing. Recover stamina faster. Great if you love to have as much comfortable gameplay as possible, as you need stamina to use your abilities, dodge and do melee attacks. Thrive on danger. This one, although it only activates when you are low HP, it will increase your survival a lot. Excellent for PvE, situational for PvP, as it can save your life or can do nothing at all, depending if your enemies got you staggered or something. Passive exceptions. These are passives that only work during Spice buff, but are very good. Shield Overcharge. This passive is great to break shields. The problem, it does nothing without the Spice buff. And this is the same problem for all these passive exceptions. Prescient Strike. Imagine you have Crippling Strike and Knee Charge, which are two Swordmaster abilities. And every time you use any Swordmaster ability, your next melee will ×2. Screech. I'll talk about this one in a moment, as now I will show you some build examples, so it will be easier to visualize. So here are some build examples. Keep in mind, all of them have spare skills that you can change to your liking / specific situations. John Wick shotgun build. By the way guys, just because it says shotgun build, it doesn't mean that you cannot bring a melee or a sniper or something like that. That weapon is the star. This build has excellent shotgun damage against both shielded and non-shielded targets. It has short skill cooldowns thanks to your techniques or the skills themselves not having long cooldowns. And it also has increased stamina regen for comfort in using those abilities constantly if needed. Great damage output and CC overall, while having some decent melee damage too. It excels in close and mid range, but it's not good for long range fights. This one is probably my favorite build. Jason Bourne Sniper build. Massive damage for long range, high damage bonus to headshots, and even more damage if you use Energy Capsule. Each shot you hit, you will impose fear. A flank capacity while having high survivability for moments you get caught. This build can work very well overall, although I'll still recommend you to bring a GRDA 44 shotgun to help you stagger the target when it comes to close range, so you can reset your cooldowns and get away from there ASAP. Of course, if you are using non-scope rifles, you should be fine. Note that for this build, we put some points in sunstroke resistance, as you will need to get in high grounds to have the edge, so there won't be much shadows there. Gladiator Maximus melee build. This one excels in melee damage output with crowd control abilities and good mobility. Have the option to go full comfort or go full offensive. Melee builds are great for everything, but obviously not the best for long range fights. So force it to become personal. If you use knives instead of swords, you can switch this skill to this one right here. Schwarzenegger explosive build. I'm sorry if I didn't spell this one right. Bring your missile launcher and abuse these three abilities. Collapse Grenade, Energy Capsule, and Assault Seeker. I'll give you two examples. Use your Energy Capsule, throw your Collapse Grenade, shoot a cannon into them for massive damage, then switch ranged weapons and finish the job. Or you can throw a Collapse Grenade, followed by your Assault Seeker and then the Missile Launcher, and then switch to another ranged weapon and finish the job. And to increase your damage further, if you do this while suspended in the air, thanks to Death from Above technique, you will deal 20% more damage. Can be an awesome build for those who love explosions. Speaking of missile launchers guys, we are getting a tier 5 and tier 5.5, which is the unique version of missile launchers. Capable farmer build. This one lets you farm resources nicely while having enough power to beat all the content without trouble. You can switch between center of mass and thrive on danger according to your needs. One is more offensive, one is more defensive. The turret to support you in PvE, beam to sprint to escape sticky situation and to farm faster too. Loudspeaker build. This one is more a unique approach. When you are under the effect of spice, your voice spreads to other enemies thanks to the screech, and in this one you'll feel that you are in control. It's fun against PvE, as NPCs can easily be grouped, but not so funny when it comes to PvP. So I wouldn't recommend you using this one for PvP. Special scenarios. Every skill has their moment to shine. Yes, some are better overall, which people call them the meta, but some others can outshine the meta in specific situations. Of course, Suspensor Blast, Crippling Strike, Knee Charge, things like that, everyone knows that they are good. But for example, the Anti-Gravity Field, the throwable or the mine version, will most likely be a very strong ability to mess up with tanks in the future, as it will not only disrupt their movement, but also mess up with their aim. Let's imagine this bug is a tank, and as you can see, when I'm hit by an anti-gravity field, I'm kinda useless for a moment. And while I'm useless, I'm also vulnerable to receive damage. The Shield Wall ability looks useless, but can help you secure more compromised control points or choke points in the future, by providing you cover or simply letting you regen stamina or your power more safely. So thinking a bit out of the box, you can come up with creative ways for using abilities in helpful ways. Think like this: when you die or you win a fight, think what could have you done to make that fight easier. More awareness, aim improvement, better stamina management, or needed better synergy with your skills. Another example, if you use Vulcans for better synergy with a weapon, you should max out Underslug Agility technique and equip it, as this will make your life much easier. If you go deep into PvP, you will start to use Spice a lot. And while you are in this state, you are immune to poison, so there is no need to have poison related skills like reduce poison damage, poison tolerance, or poison metabolism. So you can save your points and use them elsewhere. Let me know which builds did you enjoy the most, or if you use something similar, or if you would do some changes, or even if you have created a unique build that you wouldn't mind to share. I hope you enjoyed this lesson.
Remember your lessons, and the door to the future will open.
Consider leaving a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Rox is out.